Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jeremy, PeeWee, and Repo. What's up, man?
What's up? Well, I know it was a different situation for Jeremy. He could tell his thing. With me, bro, I was pissed off
because they say you got kicked out. They booted you out.
I know, and Jeremy knows that they didn't boot me out. Bro, there wasn't a member in the room that could whip my ass. Matter of fact, I could probably beat three of them up at a time. So they weren't going to throw me out of the club. You know, all this little back talk, like PopKorn says, all this little like side talking. After I stood up, and this is why I'm telling you guys exactly the way it happened. My heart was broken because he's running around saying, hey, you talk to the cops. Well, every one of these guys that belong to a club know that if we get pulled over in a pack, and this is how I like to use this. You get pulled over in a pack, you're sitting there, everybody says, shut up, nobody talk to the cops. Listen, man, if nobody says anything, I guarantee they're going to have so many cops there. We're all going in handcuffs. We're all going to jail. Somebody's got to talk. So I was the one in Sturgis. Every time we got raided by 80 cops, helicopters, dogs, they'd run in. PeeWee, the cops are here. Talk to them. And I go, you talk to them. No, you're better at it. Oh, I was better at it. Hey, I tell them, right, go f yourself. Get the fuck out of here, right? And I'd go out there and I'd handle it. Every time I'd handle it. So what makes a change? What makes me change all of a sudden to where now they're saying, oh, you should never talk to the cops. You ratted. I didn't rat at nobody. Look at my paperwork. I never said a fucking guy's name in there. I never sent nobody to jail. Nobody got arrested because of me. And what I said to the cop was self-defense. When I walked up to the dude, he pulled a knife out. I hit him 7 times. Bam, 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 bam. The whole thing was because I was the president of Hells Angels, because I was registered as a professional boxer for my kickboxing. All that played a big hamper on me. So when I sat at the table that night, I could feel it like PopKorn says, in your gut. I didn't feel the love in the room. I didn't feel like I belonged anymore. So I said, hey man, how many of you guys, and there's 12 of them there, I said, how many of you guys think I disrespected this club in any way? Well, seven of them raised their hand and they said, well, you kind of did. And I said, really? Well, just that saying, I could have sat there and argued it. Like I'm telling you guys what happened. Yeah. I could argue it, but you know what I said? This. And I owned the clubhouse and I was the president. They didn't kick me out of nothing. And all them punk ass bitches that say that they kicked me out, that's what they are, punks. Let them say it to my face. So I stood up, I unzipped my vest, I took it off, I laid it on the table, and I said, I'm done. And they went, what? I said, I'm done, I quit. If you guys don't believe in me, I don't belong to be here no more. And they're saying, man, but what do we? And I said, hey, I don't care. It's all on you now. And if some of you guys like Jeremy knows and Repo, that now we only got a half a Trump sign. Where is he?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
So there
way too much wine.
So if the guys who know this, and PopKorn wouldn't know this, but my son was a Hells Angel. And he was in his early 30s. And he stood up and he said, well, I'm going to quit too. And I said to him, Brad, you don't have to quit. And he says, well, I'm not going to stay in here while these guys talk to you and I'll beat the fuck out of them. And he would have. And he said, that's why I'm leaving. And that's why he quit. And we both left at the same day. And it felt like the longest walk. And they come out. And the only thing they said to me was, what about the clubhouse? Because I owned it. And I said, hey, man, just keep paying the bills. And I don't give a shit how long you stay here. Just keep paying the bills because everything was in my name.
Yeah, but looking back, do you wish you would have told them, get the f out of here?
Well, yeah, 3 months went by. They didn't pay the house payment for 3 months. I got stuck with a Cox cable bill, $500, electric bills, all this bullshit. And then they stole all the appliances, which would cost me like $5,000 to replace. So, I thought, you son of a... I waited to run into one of them, which a couple of them I ran into, and I just rocked them. and they were the guys from my chart, and I was pissed about it. And,
would you expect any less from them?
No. And 4 months later, they call me up and they go, "Hey, we changed your status to bad." And I said, "Who cares? Listen, I've never seen anybody out good that they called up and said, 'Hey, Jeremy, man, stop by the clubhouse, have a drink with us, brother. We miss you.'"
Yeah.
Hey, they don't do that, right? You're out good. You're just out, man. They don't give a shit. You're out. So when I left, I was out good, and all they did is put me out bad. So the other guys that were partners with me could tell me, "Hey, man, the building in Sturgis, they owe me 80 grand on. Hey, fuck you, we ain't gonna pay you." So that was their way of screwing me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's an issue with me, but that's my carriage to carry there.
Yeah.
So that's why I quit. And like PopKorn says, hey, I'm a man. I walk with my head high. Even when I went into the prison, the district attorney that put me in prison, she goes out to the media and says, "Oh yeah, PeeWee Charles Goldsmith's kicked out of Hell's Angels for cooperating with the police." And they put it in the paper. So then I get into prison and I got to deal with these goons that knock me in the head with a rock, and I get up, take off on them. And then they go, "Man, that old guy can fight." And I was 57 at the time. And these guys were in their early 30s. And I was like, am I the old guy? I guess I was the old guy. But the old guy didn't get whipped. I whipped their asses, you know? And then it was like, then they put me in this unit. It was a dropout unit of all like there was like 2 outlaws in there. There was a Hessian. There was Bogos. There was Crips, Bloods, there's Serranios, Norteños. I could go on, you know? One Sons of Silence guy that I hung around with, he sat right next to me in the yard and he dropped dead of diabetes. I mean, literally fell over dead right next to me. And he was a good dude. But we were all, they call it a dropout unit. I walked high with my head up, just like PopKorn says, because I know in my heart, I didn't rat on nobody, never did. In all the years and all the things.
I didn't get pushed out either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a damn big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna walk away or let somebody push you off, I mean, there'd just be a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't know. I ain't never been too good at letting nobody tell me what to do or take something from me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right on, bro. Well, I know Jeremy, and I know Repo's story too, and Jeremy's, you know. You guys, you tell your story, bro.
Well, like with my deal was I got caught up in it, and I basically got caught up in a case, and
Right.
fucking had nothing to do with the club. It was a personal case, and they all knew it. It isn't like it was a secret. There was nothing, hidden. It was all up front, and pretty much they said that at the end of the day, because of the case, I was on hiatus because of bringing heat back on the club. And
RICO.
the next day, on a RICO case. And then the next day, put me out in bad. And I'm going, it has nothing to do with the club. It's a personal situation. But I can tell you this much, since I've been out on the outside looking in, you see a lot of you didn't see from the inside. When you're on the outside of that fence looking at the rest of the yard, you definitely see that you're a whole lot better off, because there was a lot of bull that was being pointed and finger pointing and rats and that was on the inside.
I can only imagine though that you fell on the bad side of somebody, because if you would have been the popular or cool kid, it wouldn't have mattered as much. I mean, I've watched the shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody
that's 100% the truth.
Yeah. Somebody
that's what it was.
But the other guy get away with murder. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly it. Because there's many guys that had the same similar cases that had nothing happen to them, and even all the way through my whole process of court and bailing myself out and having to do all my stuff with the court system, I still sent all my paperwork, sent all my transcripts from the lawyers, everything every month to the nationals. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Made sure everybody was in contact with what was going on with me, to understand that I didn't rat on nobody. I didn't speak of nobody. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I mean, here you go. And then turn around and hand them the paperwork that was put onto me, that were all members that shoved it up my ass.
Didn't they, Jeremy, come to you later and say, "Hey, we found out you're cool. We want you back. Jeremy
Yeah.
said,
I want to know if I'd want to come up and have a meeting and talk about coming back.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll skip that meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
How about you, Repo?
Oh man, mine was bad because we knew two guys were informants. One was a paid rat for the feds in my case, and the funny thing was, after Tommy was killed, he wound up becoming the president. He's sitting up in New York City's house, Long Island, talking shop with him. You guys, you were talking to a paid federal informant, you dumbass. That's about as polite as I can put that. And they knew that,
Billy.
they knew that dropped that case on me, and all of them bailed and ran and tried to realign themselves with Gorilla and a bunch of.
Repo, did you go to prison before that meeting or after?
No, I actually went after. I had the case prior to that, like 2 years prior to that. But like Philadelphia takes years to get you processed through everything, and
You could have just laid your patch down and said, damn, I'm not going to that meeting.
I could have said, listen, the scumbag detective, and I still remember his name, William McGrody, came to the cell unit I was in the 55th and Pine district, shook the bars. This is your last chance for amnesty. You either tell me what I want to know, or you're going to go to jail for a long time for shit you didn't do.